So we've done the laws, we've done the history, we've done the why, we've done the mobile surveillance. Now we're going to talk about case management. This is where a lot of people, they kind of, I don't say fail, but case management and organization is key. That's one of the things that's going to make you a great investigator. Because I've done it a while, I typically shorthand everything. I typically don't even write down a lot of stuff. You know, like I said with the app, if I follow somebody to the subway, I just point my phone at the subway because it's going to give the location address. And then I'll go back and refer to that when I do my notes. So I'll shorthand everything. I try not to keep a bunch of papers in my car. Flip side of that, when we're talking about being compromised, mobile surveillance, being approached by local authorities, you don't want a bunch of stuff in your car. Because even though by law, you don't have to tell them what case you're working, who you're working for, you can offer them the phone number to call your immediate supervisor. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it doesn't escalate to that. But if you got that information right there on your seat, and it's the claimant that approaches you or somebody like that, then they can see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty about where we are now. You know, before back then, it was a lot of, you know, writing things down, printing things up, a lot of paper in your seat. Now, our case management system, you can do it all through an app on your phone. All that information is right there on your phone. So there's really no need to have it. I mean, if you want to have it, but I prefer not to have anything. So before you begin this surveillance, it's important that you review all the case materials. You know, we've got the comp reports we've done. We've got the prelims that we've done, social media searches. All of that stuff is in there. What we normally do is put it in what we call a background check. And, you know, in most cases, when you go to log in, you will see the background check. It's already been compiled. If we were able to pull any photos of the individual, a lot of times we try not to ask for photos. You want to ask the client for photos, but you want to be leery of who you ask for that photo. I hate to say this, but I have to consecute. This happened a long, long time ago, too. So there was a case in Virginia. It was in the Virginia area. And it was a case in the Virginia area, fairly rural. And the guy who was being observed, one of his family members working in human resources. So, you know, a lot of things I tell y'all is what I've learned and seen in the industry. You know, never the, you know, negative Nelly, but what I've seen in the industry. So somebody asked somebody in HR for a photo of the guy. And it was one of the supervisors, I think, that provided the photo with him. Send it back to the PI company. Gave it to him, worked it. This guy owns some kind of store. He owns some kind of store. So investigator gets there day one. He gets to the store, let's say the store opens at 8. He gets there at 6. Parks across the street by a telephone pole. Sits in the back where he can't be seen. And he waits. About 7:30, 7:45, guy shows up with his wife, goes to the store, opens up the store. Probably in the store maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Now mine just been about an hour, 45 minutes. So it's, you know, maybe 1 or 2 other cars out there. Walked across the street. Walked right up to this investigator's car and started beating on the window. Investigator wasn't sure what to do. He was kind of like, do I roll the window down or do I just play possum? If I'm not mistaken, he played possum. Guy left, went back to the store. Investigator sat there maybe 10 or 15 minutes and then just pulled off. First day, first 2 hours of that case, I still say to this day, because I'm familiar with the company that this happened with, somebody in human resources told that guy that's available. Because they knew the date. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Not only did they give the photo, but this is back when clients used to ask the date. I hate when the clients are like, well, what day are you going to work? I'm always kind of like, what day? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let it happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, just like
there's always an inside person.
Yeah. So that's
potential for it, right?
Yeah. So that's why sometimes asking for photos could be can be touch and go because you don't know if it's a family member, different last name, she's married, Lewis, his name Harris, that's his sister. You know what I'm saying?
So many people connect.
Yeah, so it's so, it's so many different connections that you really want to be, same thing I said with the neighbors. When you're talking to the neighbors, I know guys are on surveillance and they're like, well, yeah, I talked to the neighbor. They told me I could sit in their driveway. Well, first of all, you're sitting in somebody's driveway for 8 hours. That's crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. I know there's plenty of ways. You can put your visor up in the window and stuff like that so it just looks like it's a car. You're sitting in this guy's driveway for 8 hours. Second of all, you don't know who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Or who you're dealing with. It could be his friend.
Neighbor, but be a good friend.
Yeah. So let's just say hypothetically, he calls. He's small talking with the neighbor. It's like, yeah, man. Some investigator asked me to sit in my driveway. Yeah, so just be careful out there. The investigator in my driveway, I don't know, it's some kind of domestic case. Because that investigator's probably not going to tell them it's workers' comp. They'll probably tell them child custody or something like that. But that individual, when they hung up the phone,
he knows.
Yeah, you put two and two together, and you wonder why your cases all of a sudden went in a different direction. So after you've reviewed your information, you worked your case, you got your notes. End of that first day, you want to inform your client. So you're keeping all that information, hopefully, regardless of the size of the company, in some sort of case management system. We used to keep it in the, those pads, those manila pads and things like that. But now everything is electronic. In our system, you're typing it into the system. Our system even pre-writes the update. You just have to fill in the lines. Oh. So it's always a head scratcher when, one of my managers is telling me something about investigating. I'm like, it's 5 presets. Either you got video, you didn't get video, or you lost it. Didn't get video means they wasn't at home, or they was at home, they weren't active. You got video means they got active. You lost them means you lost them, but they was active. So a lot of that is already pre-written, and you just have to fill in the blanks. So we try to make it as easy as possible, in that regard. Each morning, the previous day, you want to update that client. You know what I'm saying? Arrived on site. This is what we saw. This describes the house. And somewhere in there, you want to give them some photos. You know what I'm saying? You want to give them some photographs of the house. It's probably pretty good the first day. In my opinion, you don't have to do it every day. You can put it in the report, but you want to give them pictures of the house. I've known clients to tell people, that when they don't have any activity on the case, and every day they get a picture of the house, I know people that say, hey, I'm not in the real estate business. Right. I know this house about the house. Right. But you will have some people who will want to know what their house is because that guy probably lives in another state that they hadn't seen. I've known people to be updated and adjust and say, oh my God, look at his house. I'm like, yeah, pretty nice neighborhood. So how did you get that? Yeah.
It just depends on the case.
Yeah. So you have, you want to update them, each morning. You want to add those photos. And like I said, while you're on that case, you're taking time shots each hour. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically your time sheet. That's documenting that you were there. There are a lot of different things they can do. Our system, if you log into it, they can track you. They have other people that track various different ways and time shots. But that time shot that you're taking is literally your time shot. That's the only thing that says, hey, I was here. Okay. So you're going to update them the next morning when that assignment is complete. So they'll get an update each morning. We'll have some photos each morning. Hey, this is what happened. This is what happened. When that case is complete, you'll give them a final report. And that final report will outline everything as well as your recommendation. And include, the video that you obtain. We normally drop it as a link in the report. And then from there, that you'll make recommendations of, hey, should we work this again? How would you guys like to proceed? Hey, we didn't get anything. Did they have any appointments? How would you guys like to proceed? Here's a few report writing tips. one of the things that a lot of investigators sometimes aren't that good at is report writing. I think, in my personal opinion, I feel like it's not something that I think is driven home enough, and I think sometimes I don't like to use the word lazy, but it's just, kind of half shorthanded. And the reason why I'm semi-stickler for it is just the fact that you can work a case for 2 days and get nothing, but still have a wealth of information. So a guy can work a case for 2 days and they'll send you a 2-line update. Got there at 6. On arrival, lights was off at the house. Vehicle at the house, spot check. On one of my spot checks, the vehicle left. Ended the day at the house. Client looks at that. Then you'll get guys, investigators, and as an owner and an area manager, we know, why are we not giving you more case numbers? This is what we're sending to the client. You can work that same case. Hey, arrived at the house was grabbed this way, yard looks well maintained, looks like it's been most recently, grass been cut, or, here's the vehicles, here's who they're registered to, can't sit direct, gotta sit on the egress, you gotta let them know. You shorthanding all of this in your update, they don't know. They're like,
all the details.
Yeah, like, why didn't we get something?
You were there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, they live in a cul-de-sac to not compromise this investigation. We chose to sit at the most likely egress. Their cul-de-sac leads out to a 2-lane highway, so the only place we can sit is here. You know what I'm saying? For this case to make sense. We would recommend, maybe an appointment so we can get them away from it. But all of those would be down in your recommendations, what you're recommending. But you want to give, hey, these 4 or 5 vehicles, they're registered to this person, and we run tags all the time. So if an investigator says, hey, can you run this tag? That tag helps us, because we may have the information where they've got a Ford Fusion, but they totaled it out, and now they're driving a Jeep Durango. You know what I'm saying? So, a Dodge Durango. So, you want to have as much information as possible. Some guys say, well, I can do all that in my final report. Well, if you do it all in your update, all you got to do is copy and paste when it's time to write your final report, because it's all in your update. All the information is there. You want to be specific. You want to be factual. You don't want to, overly, avoid exaggerating things or giving your own medical opinion. You're not a doctor. A lot of times people will call you to the mat on that. He moved his arm in a 90-degree angle. You want to provide supporting evidence, photos, videos, any statements. Identify any limitations. If they walk with a limp, they utilize the cane. If they, had difficulties, walking, standing for long periods of time. And you want to proofread and edit. Don't get me wrong, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes still to this day. You want to proofread, check it for grammatical errors. You want to make sure that your tense that you're writing in is consistent. You don't want to go present, past. You want to be consistent. So, report writing, in my opinion, is a critical skill for the investigator. A well-written report can help to communicate the results of your investigation accurately, professionally, and concisely. And it helps to build the client's trust in your ability to assist them. Here's a screenshot of what our case management system looks like. I don't know who's logged in as this, but cases, this particular investigator, I guess that would be his login. Whatever new cases you had, open, what cases were completed, how many closed cases. Then you have your various tabs up here within the case management system. But there's several different versions. That's the one that we choose to use.
Is there a specific system that is?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is, well, we don't want to give them any free publicity. But yeah, we'll say it's a standard system.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually 2 or 3 standards in the industry. So this is one of 2 that most people use.
Well, let me rephrase the question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it user friendly or is it something that we got to get trained on?
No, it's very user friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, they've got YouTube apps that walk you through things, but very user friendly. Yeah, very easy to manipulate and move around. And in that system, like I was saying before, there's that online research. So you can click on buttons in there, the address, you'll see pictures, say view residence. It'll show you a picture of that. And it's saying map. It'll show you the map. And you can see all the, the businesses in the surrounding area, like we talked about before. And of course, like I said, it lets us know who's the closest, to that case to make that determination. Here's several sample client updates. So you had, this guy here, Chuckley, Tennessee, residential, was a double wide. There's the vehicles, spot checks. This is one of those updates where I just said it was, kind of short and condensed. I mean, where you can, add a lot more. And this one, I think the guy was actually active. Kind of describe what he was wearing. You want to describe what he's wearing because in that video, you may have multiple people. So, when they first enter the video, unless they change
identify who they are.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes, we've had cases with twins. We've had cases with people who look alike. You have some cases where, you have one particular nationality and everybody, there's just one particular actor. So yeah, these are a few examples of some updates. These are test updates. I think that individuals practicing. And then you got your final report. This is typically what ours looks like. The investigative recommendations, got your subject's name, case number, data loss, our file number, investigative summary, investigative recommendations. And as you get into the body of the report, the surveillance, remember I said photos, time, date, stamp.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Address. Nothing happened. Vehicle was there. Their particular registered vehicle was there. You always want to be mindful when you're utilizing that camera, what pops up. When you first pull up in the morning, let's just say you got your phone on your lap. If you shoot at your side mirror, that phone is going to see a little the light from your phone up here, so you might want to turn it over.
Camera.
Yeah, you want to turn it over so it doesn't show up. But this is basically what our report looks like. It starts off with that first part that I showed you guys, and then as you get to the surveillance, we start dropping the photos in, the ID photos. Showing you what the residence looks like, documenting that the individual's car was there. So in summary, we talked about case preparation, informing the client, report writing tips, online research, case updates, and final reports. So what we're going to take a short break, and then we'll close out.